Why do you think people are so interested in what you're putting out there?
Our biggest thing is through our content, we want to glorify the Lord.
This is Shawshank right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they gotta watch one video before they go to the chair.
Yeah.
What are you sending to them?
I was just like, I don't ever want to be a pro golfer.
And we're rolling. Welcome back to the Entrusted podcast. I am Blaine, and I am joined by my esteemed co-hosts, Brock Murphy.
Thank you.
And Ben Presley.
Thank you, Brock.
And tonight, we are excited to have with us a man who needs no introduction, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Grant Horvat. Thank you for being here with us tonight.
Thanks for having me, man. I definitely do need an introduction.
Well, guess what? You have one coming.
Okay, come on. I want to hear it.
We have Grant Horvat, who is from Stuart, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Went to South Fork High School.
Whoa, you did some deep research. Oh boy. He's gonna find some things. I better get up and walk away.
Played for the golf team at Palm Beach Atlantic University.
I did.
And I saw some things here. 6'4", 170. So that's what's listed. It's probably a couple years ago. But
So that's the number. When I meet people that watch the videos, the first thing everybody says is, I didn't realize how tall you were. Because I don't think it shows on camera.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely tall in person.
Mm-hmm.
We're still 170?
Dude, no, I think I'm like 180 now. Game
Still
10.
great. You're doing great.
Yeah.
He was a 4-time commissioner's honor roll, 2-time provost list with a GPA of 3.5 to 3.99. Solid.
Come on.
6-time athletic directors list, and a 2019-2020 GCAA All-American Scholar.
Student athlete.
Come on. I've never had anybody read that off for me. This is the first.
Awesome.
Forgot about that.
And then where people really know you from is from the great platform of YouTube. And Grant currently, as of recording, has 1.49 million subscribers. Has posted 305 videos. And do you know how many views you have at this point? 261,896,496. And the 496 is probably off now because there's been some more in the last few minutes. But Grant, we are grateful you're here with us tonight.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Wow. That's some good stuff.
So the theme of this podcast as we have this conversation is the things that we've been given to steward, and you've been given a lot to steward. And so we just want to kind of explore, and we're going to start with a segment that I'm going to begin referring to as our first birth and our second birth. Because in John 3, Nicodemus comes to Jesus and he asks him a question. And then Jesus says, if you want to see the kingdom of God, you have to be born again. And so we're going to, let's dig into your background, where you're from, family dynamics, kind of what brought you to this point. And then I'd also love for you to, from there, we can just kind of flow into your testimony and how the Lord saved you.
Yeah. So funny thing is, I was born in Dearborn, Michigan. So right outside of Detroit.
Yeah.
Already failed your research.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He did.
Well, the hometown.
Yeah.
I didn't look where he was born.
That was ChatGPT, had to be.
Yeah. I always tell people I'm from Detroit.
I love that.
You don't mess with me. I'm from
Detroit.
But
Blue collar.
yeah, but so born in Michigan. I lived there for 9 years.
Okay.
And then I moved to Pennsylvania. I was there for like 6 years.
Okay.
So Michigan, Pennsylvania, and then made our way over to Florida.
Chase that weather.
Exactly. So got to a point where in Pennsylvania, where I started playing golf and taking it serious, I think if you're taking golf serious and you truly want to take it to the next level, you need to live in a place that you have good weather the entire year. I think having, 6-7 months out of the year where you're hitting on simulators and you're constantly battling snow is really difficult to get super sharp and get your game to where you want it. Now, I'm not saying there's tons of people that do it.
Yeah.
It's not possible. But for me, I wanted to play college golf. And the biggest thing was figuring out a way to practice year round, and that was Florida.
Yep.
And my parents, we actually had a house in Florida growing up, so we kind of go back and forth. But yeah, I moved to Florida my freshman year of high school. So I went to all of high school in Florida, in Stewart. And I played on the high school golf team there.
Now, I think I heard somewhere you didn't pick up the game till fairly late, right?
Yeah, 13.
So that wasn't far after that.
Yeah, so I was
fast learner.
Well, it's funny. My dad's been a pro for almost 40 years. He's been a PGA pro.
That's awesome.
And he taught me everything I know.
31,000.
Yeah, there you go. And yeah, it's interesting because growing up, your dad's a pro, and you're like, it's kind of this expectation when your dad's a pro to play golf. And I actually was really big into basketball, so I played that until I was 13, and that's when I started to take golf serious. I realized quickly, played a game, and yeah, the team, let's just say, was very talented. A lot of strong men on that team.
6'4" with a little more than 170.
Yeah, and they were from an area. We just knew this team was really good, and I think, they had goatees, and I never even at that point I never even grew. I don't think I ever had a single hair that came in on my face. And these guys had full beards and were dunking. And so at that moment, I remember looking at my dad and being like, I think that's enough of that. I couldn't even get a rebound or anything. And so, I realized quickly that golf was going to be the route. And so, 13 years old, I took it serious.
It's such a passive aggressive way to say that golfers are just soft. Like, the real athletes with the facial hair are going to play the basketball. And it's like, if you play golf, you're just kind of like, this is what I'm going to do.
We were just progressing at different rates. I was a little bit behind.
You always could have been a 3-and-D specialist, though. I mean, that's kind of the same cloth as the golfers.
That's where I hung out. I was always shooting threes. That was my number one thing. That's kind of that dude that they put in just to shoot threes. And then it's like, get him out of here. I can't play defense. But yeah, no. And I love free throws. I was big on, I always tell this story. I went to States for free throw shooting.
Wow.
I told Bob, the Bob No Sports guys, they lost it because they were like, that. Of course you did. It's the one thing that was my favorite thing in basketball. And it's interesting because it was the repetition of doing the same motion over and over again. And that's what, free throws and golf have in common.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting. My mom used to bring that up, that, I feel like, because that was the one part in basketball where I was really good with shooting.
Mm-hmm.
I had touch, and, having that is really good for golf. It's just kind of, it crosses over. And so, that was something that you could see the correlation between basketball and golf.
So you started playing at 13
Yeah.
and you wanted to play in college.
Mm.
What were you shooting, and how realistic did that sound? Or you just had a lot of ambition? You were like, you just kind of continue to see progress.
Yeah, I think this was actually, that's a great question, because when I was getting into golf at 13 years old, my dad's students that were all 13 and like all the kids I was playing with were unbelievably good. Like they were shooting, 70s. And I thought, at the time, at some point in your golf career, like how did they shoot in the 70s?
It sounds like Blaine.
Yeah. This guy's insane. But I was like, there's just no shot. Like I'm so late to the party. I'm 13. I'm like shooting in the hundreds at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, there's no chance I don't know how I'm going to shave off this many strokes and make it to college one day to play golf. And
that's how I feel playing with my buddies who shoot 90.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But yeah, even my dad was like, yeah, you're late. Like he was very honest with me. He was like, he's like, you're going to need to work a little bit harder than everyone else to catch up. And I remember, I did work really hard. I got the bug, and then I just started to practice every single day. And I will say, when you start out and you have the correct fundamentals in golf, my dad being a pro, he put my hands on the club properly.
Mm-hmm.
And you see Scotty doing this all the time, but this, like, the grip to me, and you ask my dad is obsessed with talking about the grip. It's like I joke about it. My dad is so obsessed with the grip. I think he'd walk up to Rory on the range and be like looking at his grip.
Check his grip.
Yeah. Oh, he'd check Scotty's grip. He'd be like looking at, like, making sure it's
take a quick little side street here. That grip trainer that Scotty uses.
Yeah.
Have you ever held one?
Oh yeah, of course.
It's awful. It gets my, like,
sometimes they're weak.
fingertips on the club and like right hand's real weak.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You
maybe I don't have right fundamentals.
Hey, there you go. But I mean, he works really hard on that. And I will say, like, having a dad that was a pro, I think a lot of the time when like you start out this game, you do a lot of like golf is very unnatural from the beginning. Your golf swing is it doesn't come natural like the golf swing. It's a very weird, awkward move. And everything you want to do is usually wrong. Like you want to pull it with your hands from the top.
Yeah,
you
I can
want
second
to
that.
Oh yeah. You want to come over the top. Everybody does it. They want to, and it's all the same. And so when you start out and you have the correct fundamentals, you have the correct grip, and you're working on the correct stuff, like your setup, your alignment, everything's neutral. At least I had the foundation there to grow quick. And so I feel like I could catch up to some of the kids that maybe were starting out with wild looking grips and golf swings that were soon to break down.
Yeah.
And so that's how I feel like I progressed pretty quick. And then, from there, just started practicing every day and started playing tournaments.
Yep.
I had a really good little run on the South Florida Junior Tour in 2016. I never shot around in the 80s on the South Florida Tour. And that was a big deal for me because I was, I was really, really trying hard at that point. I had one more year in college. I was talking to colleges, and I think my scoring average was 73 or 70.
I mean, this is only 3 or 4 years into playing.
Yeah. And a 73 scoring average to get, Division II is still like you can, if you're competing, you're winning those South Florida junior events, you're going to be looked at by a lot of colleges. And so, I had a really good year in 2016, 2017 was solid. Then eventually started talking to colleges.
Just for the people that don't know, what is the score you need to start being looked at by?
I mean, this guy went to Auburn, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, they're looking at your.
Wait, hold on. Do people, like, I feel like there's probably people tuning in that are like, who is this guy? And like, no offense. I know Blaine very well. And so I feel like we should just for a second. You played on the PGA Tour.
Yes.
You went to Auburn. You were a stud golfer. This guy's like 10 times the golfer I am, 10 times I will ever be. I just feel like you should tell people a little bit about your background.
Thank you.
Because there could be a lot of people coming in here that have no idea.
We have different levels of golf aptitudes here.
Yeah.
We have
Vastly different.
Ben's trying to break 100.
Ben and Brock.
Maybe 120.
Okay, 120. We're all fans of the game. We all love the game.
Absolutely.
I did play on the PGA Tour for 4 years, played golf at Auburn. That is why Auburn became home for me. And then played professionally for 11 years overall until a few years ago. So I do have a similar, even though the levels played out differently and where our careers went, I did have a very similar experience where I remember at 13 being like, I'm never going to shoot in the 60s. Like, how do you shoot in the 60s?
Right.
And then it just like happened one day.
Yeah.
And then, I'm never going to be able to win a tournament. Are you kidding me? These kids are I was playing with Brooks Koepka when we were 14 and he was beating me every week.
Right.
But to go back to your question, Brock, is like around even part or a couple over, they're kind of looking at the tournaments you're playing, the fields you're playing against. Is it regional in the state or is it statewide or is it regional in the US or is it nationwide? And then, the guys that are going to D1 programs are shooting under par consistently on difficult golf courses. And then even par to a couple over is kind of more like the mid-major, smaller schools or a D2 school or D3 school. But I mean, if you can average 75, you could play college golf somewhere.
There's a lot of people out there that want to know what it takes to play college golf. Because I feel like it's very unclear. It's like this unspoken world of like, how do you become a college golfer? Because like there is a degree in which, there's a political side to it, knowing people, who do you know? And then there's also just like the talent, like the scores speak for themselves, which that's the beautiful thing about golf is like, there is no, he could be like, it's here. It's like, here's what he shoots. It's, do you win tournaments or do you not?
Yeah.
Does like high school tournaments though matter or not so much?
I feel like the AJGAs are what really were the big ones. If you want to go like D1 now. I just, and what's interesting too is what I saw growing up was there would be these very, very good kids at a young age, and they would commit at a very young age to these huge schools, D1, whatever. And, these coaches are taking a huge risk.
Yeah.
I believe, because, they're betting on these kids from a very young age to be very
we're
good.
talking 13. I've seen commitments at like 13 or 14.
I have
sometimes.
too. Yeah. I've seen commitments at 14 years old to Auburn, to Georgia. I remember one. I would never speak of any names, but I do remember these growing up as a kid. These kids that were committing to these huge schools, and they're like posting
haven't
about
even hit puberty yet.
I know, and it's like,
hey, but you were winning money games at this point at the country club. So.
I was. We talked about that. Yeah.
But you see their posts about it. You're like committed to Georgia, and or like whatever, and you're like, dude, you're like 14. Like, but what a lot of the times what would happen is over that time they would maybe peak when they're 13 or 14. They'd be winning everything, and they wouldn't necessarily progress.
Yeah.
Over the next couple of years, they'd almost like peak in that moment, and so. It is about also timing when your good scores are coming in, when you start to really pick it up.
Yep.
Because when you're looking and you're serious about colleges and you're shooting the right scores and winning, you're going to be looked at. But there's a big difference between you and I. Like, you were another whole caliber. I played Division II. You're playing D1 at Auburn. There's a big, big difference there.
Well, I want to take it back to you there. I was watching one of your videos. I think it was like your origin story on your channel. And I think you said that you never really enjoyed competitive golf. So talk to us about that, because you're talking about the hard work and kind of wanting to get into it, but you'd never really enjoyed it. I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, I feel like every kid, they want to, when they're taking golf serious, there's usually that like end goal of being a pro golfer. You want to make it to the PGA Tour. And I feel like I felt it when I was maybe, like 13, 14, 15. I was like grinding. I got to college, and that's when it was like, I was just like, I don't ever want to be a pro golfer. I was traveling, you're staying in hotels. And then it was the serious grind. I think for me, the biggest thing with competitive golf, I think it's beautiful, and I think it's I love watching it. However, what I would see is people change their personality, and it got so serious and so tense, and people were throwing clubs, and I just was like, when I play golf, I want to have fun, and don't get me wrong, I do love competition with like games that you're playing. You put a little money on things. Like, I love doing that, playing with my friends at home, and I love that competition. I love the competition in YouTube videos. The competition when you play a 3-day tournament is very different with all players that are very, very good. It just becomes a grind. It's mentally exhausting. And I just didn't love living out of the hotel and every day waking up and just grinding. It was just like, and golf, like, you don't just go out there, and for me, I'm grinding like for 18 holes. Like, I got to consciously think about everything I'm doing. It doesn't just come naturally, the game. And so, I kind of learned quickly in college that I wasn't really into the competitive, trying to go pro route.
Two really interesting things there. It's a unique gift that you had that recognition early.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of guys. The second part of this thing that's interesting, I think, is Grant and I have gotten to know each other over the last year, and I'm very impressed by your game.
Also, I am not good enough. I knew I wasn't good enough.
Well,
Let's make that very clear.
Hold on.
I had the
that
realization
was part of why you didn't enjoy the competitive golf.
No, I also realized that I was not good enough.
But what's funny is,
I want to make sure that's
so
clear.
now you're 26, you're 8 years out from that time of your life. I mean, just based off being introduced to your content, the things you've put out there, I don't know if it was on a social channel, if it was Instagram or if it was a video, but you did like every swing or your like progression of your handicap at one point. And like, you can just see every single time the swing gets cleaner and the fundamentals are better and the movement's better and the shot shape's tighter. And I actually think, I played the Korn Ferry Tour for 6 seasons. Your game is far and above a lot of guys I played with out there, like in terms of consistency and ball flight and various things. So I think guys that don't have that recognition, that go, man, I don't really want to do this. This is a unique thing to do, and it's hard. You ended up getting good enough to where you could have chased that way longer than you should have. So it's kind of cool. It's great. It led you to where you are now.
Yeah, and
it's perfect.
But there's two sides to that, because I think the best players in the world have they're all a little bit what's that word? They have that, what's it called? delusional. Gosh, I could not get it out. I think what I've noticed hanging around those guys, and it's not a bad thing. They're all just, they're so good and they believe that they are the best. And there's like that, a little bit of that. And I feel like if you're more of a realist and I feel like I was like, I knew I wasn't good enough and why go waste time? Now there are some people that are, you never know. They could progress. Like, and not everybody progresses at different rates. And I've seen people that are not great in college and they randomly just catch a hot streak. So it's like, don't give up on it right away. I don't want that to ever be the message.
Yeah.
I just felt like it wasn't also my passion.
Yeah.
All right. I want to stay there though. I feel like you have to be a little bit, to use your word, delusional to also one day just say, you know what? I'm going to be a content creator. So I want to hear your thoughts on that side of this.
For sure. I mean, at the time that I was just graduating from college, you try and tell your parents that you're going to do YouTube, and it is interesting.
Everyone's dream.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, and my parents were great. They were super supportive. I immediately moved out to Dallas right when I got out of college and started filming with Garrett. And I just remember telling my parents like, "Hey, I'm going to do YouTube." But I don't know. I had this weird feeling. I don't know how to describe it. Where as a kid, I was like, I feel like I'm gonna do something that is special one day. Like I had this, like, as a little kid, I remember I was like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. I always had this feeling like something was going to happen in my life. I don't know what it was. And I just remember like, when everything started to happen, I was like, this is, I believed it as like a little kid. I was like, I don't know, there's like something's going to happen. I believe it. And with my heart and soul, that something will transpire. And I just like, telling your parents you still feel like you're delusional when you're going to tell your parents that you're going to do YouTube. But I'll tell you, when it first started and just like doing the couple of videos that I did do, I still had a little bit of confidence going into it. But it's it's the Wild West. You don't know YouTube. It's like, what the heck are we doing out here?
Is there like a first viral video or a first moment where you remember a feeling of, I might be onto something here?
So first TikTok I ever posted, I think it has like 800,000 views right now. First one I ever
Number
posted.
one.
First one ever.
Wow.
And it was on.
Your height came out in the video. They could just tell. There was an aura.
Crazy. Well, it was kind of crazy because I was on a couple YouTube videos with Garrett, and I had a lot of fun filming in those couple YouTube videos, and I was watching how they were doing it.
But for everybody that doesn't know, who's Garrett?
So GM Golf, he is.
Good call.
He's kind of. I would describe Garrett. I mean, like, he's one of the pioneers of YouTube golf. He is one that he started it way, way back, and he was just filming himself with a camera. And he's kind of like, he's an OG. Like there's Rick Shields that's been doing it for a long time. Garrett, like Peter Finch. There's a lot of those guys that have been doing it for a really long time. And so, he was like, even when I was in college, Garrett already had a pretty, like, very, very big platform. Like, I remember I saw his videos on the internet, and I was like, I remember the first time I ever met Garrett, I was like, dude, I remember watching his video saying, I could beat this kid. Like, I want to play him in a 1v1. Like, I was already wanting to play this kid in a 1v1. Like, I was like watching him hit stingers. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, I could beat him in a 1v1. And I'll tell you what,
put me in, coach.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, Garrett and I's game over the years, it's been perfectly close, where sometimes he beats me, sometimes I beat him, and we go back and forth. And so it's been a perfect little storm there.
Did he have a similar story to you?
His stories, I think it is pretty similar.
Okay. He played in college.
He did, and he definitely. I know he had trouble with the NCAA rules, so he like dropped out, and I know he went straight into YouTube.
Okay.
But he took a pretty big risk there as well. I mean, that's a huge risk what he did.
If you want to test their competitive equality, there's a great series over the last year, like kind of a guys trip where y'all just compete multiple days in a row around Florida, and it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's so fun. Yeah, that the road trip series with Garrett have been awesome. I was actually just texting him the other day. I was like, we need to figure out doing another one. But we need to figure out where we want to do it, like New York or something. It could be fun.
So before we go full-fledged YouTube and how that came about, we've identified that something special was happening. You felt like something special was going to happen, and you've been given a huge platform, and you're very outspoken about your faith in Jesus. And we're 22 now. You've finished school. You're moving to Dallas to start YouTube. And what's been sort of that faith journey in the midst of all that, and where are you at this point?
Yeah, I think, well, I went to a Christian college, and so I don't think back then, I don't really think I had a faith, if I'm being honest. I remember when I went to college, I go to chapel all the time. We had to go to chapel, and it was kind of like in my mind, like one day, if I need this, it'll be there.
In your back pocket.
And like, but I want to have fun.
Any church attendance or faith background growing up as
yeah,
a child?
My parents, they tried. It wasn't like very, very big growing up for me. We tried to go to church. We were kind of like Christmas, Easter, you know?
Got it.
Yeah, I remember it was this weird thing. It was like, I'm going to have fun now and kind of get into the party scene, do all that and get that out. And then like, if I need it, it'll be like, in my back pocket. And I always kind of just live like that. And you didn't really, I felt like, what I was doing, the lifestyle I chose at the time was probably not ideal. It probably wasn't right, but you don't feel it. You definitely feel a little bit of conviction, but it's not like when you truly are following Jesus, like when you do something or you screw up, you kind of feel it. You're like, man, you feel it in your chest. So yeah, I didn't really feel it. And I was able to just kind of like brush it under the rug and keep going through life. And then I think for me, I feel like a lot of people have these testimonies that are like, I got in a car accident or I almost died or like these crazy, or I was doing drugs and alcohol. And I feel like for me, I don't really have this like crazy one moment in which I was like, you know what, I need to change. Like I didn't hit rock bottom before.
Yeah.
I think what happened was, if anything, it was the opposite. Like as I started to climb up and I realized that I had influence over children. I remember the biggest thing for me was like kids coming up to me on the range and reciting videos. I remember them saying like every word. Like this one little kid was like reciting. I was just like, whoa, like their brains are a sponge. And like what I'm saying is so important. And I don't want to be saying garbage. And I don't want these kids to be repeating terrible things that I say. And so that just kind of like right off the bat, before I even really got going, I was like, you know what? Like I need to like figure out what my meaning is in life and like what I want to represent. And so I feel like that's when my faith journey, I was like, and it was just on the car ride here. I was talking with Jalen about his faith and just like where he's at. And like, we were just going down, like, I don't know. You also start thinking about death and like all these different things. And you're like, where am I? Like, where am I going to go? And like, what even is this? Like, what's the meaning to all this? I remember having those like late at night, like, what if I died right now? Like, what would happen? I think everybody goes through that. It's like the human experience. And I think that's when God's calling out, because I think it takes just as much faith to be an atheist as it does to believe in Jesus.
Without a doubt.
And I think it takes more faith to believe that you're just going to go to blackness. And so, I started to just really have this like, overwhelming, just like, a lot of just like looking within and trying to figure out what my purpose is. And I knew about Jesus, and I knew I know about it. Like I went to chapel, I heard the messages, but I didn't really like, once again, it was like, and then meeting my wife was a huge part of it. Meeting Sadie was very, very, very deep into her faith when I met her. And she was just, the beautiful thing about my wife is, I met her when she was 19 years old. She's 23 now. But I'll tell you, when she was 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, she is the most mature person for her age I've ever met. And you only get, like, she's an old soul, but you also only get that through knowing exactly what your purpose is and why you're here.
Yeah.
I think there was no searching for her. There was no, like, I need to go get this out of my system. It was like, we're either going to, like, take this serious. Like, if you're going to want to take this, like, if our relationship's going to be serious, faith is going to be a big part of it. And she also just encouraged me so much. So we started going to church together, and that's when it kind of changed to me, just going to church and getting out there. And I just remember, I stopped. I was like, you know what, I'm going to just stop with this party scene, stop going out. And I just want to take my faith serious because I also just want to help people out there that are maybe going through hard times because I just feel like I was so lost maybe in college. And yeah, it's been a beautiful journey. And yeah, obviously I feel like you never have it fully figured out, but right now I can just like look back and be like, wow, grown a lot in my faith. So
You feel like you can notice even a difference in the content you were producing at all? Like going from where you were up to that point and then moving forward kind of with more of that eternal faith-minded mindset?
oh yeah. I mean, it changes everything. Like
Yeah.
what you say, the words you choose, how you like. I think for Sky and I, like, he's a believer as well, and like our biggest thing is through our content, we want to glorify the Lord. Like I think the biggest thing for our channel, and we will never, and I mean this, like we will never break this down. This trust will never be broken with our audience, which is cussing and saying just terrible things. Like I think I want every family to be able to sit down in their living room and watch it as a family, no matter how young the kids are. And I want everybody to be able to watch the videos together. And it's okay if I'm playing with a guest that's not a believer. I love playing with people that don't necessarily believe. I think it's great. We're never going to have the cuss words in there. But I still want to hang out with people that don't. Like Saquon Barkley, I had no idea that he was a believer. Randomly out of nowhere on one of the holes, he starts talking about this year he gave his life to Jesus, and it's been the greatest year of his life. Nice. And he just had the greatest year of his life on the field. And I had no idea, Saquon. And he just brought that up randomly in a car camp. And that was so beautiful to just see that, because like that doesn't always happen. Yeah. But yeah, I think through our content, like even with George and Wes, like both of them being believers as well, like we're not going to sit there and shove it down your throat 24/7. That's not our goal. Our goal is to talk about it here and there, but also just through the way we act and how we speak. I think that's the biggest thing we want. That's our message, is how we act, how we speak. That be the light of Jesus.
I think the Saquon one is a great example too of just how you are using your platform, because if I remember correctly, he kind of opened the door to that conversation. He asked about your faith first.
Yeah.
And that was just because of the way you've been living and you sharing it openly.
Yeah.
And that opens the door then for you to, like you said, you had no idea.
Of course. Yeah. And I'm not going to put him on the spot and be like, so what's because I had no idea. And so for him to ask me about mine and like, what's your journey been like? I was like, whoa, like this is, that's the first time that's happened. And, I wake up a couple days later and this huge Instagram page about faith, like posts about Saquon sharing his faith, and it's going all the moments of Saquon sharing his faith are like the most clipped moments. And so obviously there's this interest from everybody out there that watches, like, there is this, like, it's intriguing to talk about Jesus and talk about your faith, whether they believe or not, or that's the first time they're hearing it. There is still that like, like I want to hear a little more. Or the Christian community is very encouraging, and they want to, encourage Saquon and encourage us. So it was really cool to see that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jesus is an important figure in history. So he sparks some thoughts and some opinions.
He definitely does. And it's so funny because I watch Cliff and a lot of the guys that go out there and just preach on the side of the street. And it's so interesting to just hear the conversations between people that are still unsure.
Yeah.
And, you're not trying to necessarily win them over. It's just, you're giving the evidence.
Yeah.
The historical evidence and what Jesus said he was.
Yeah. And I just, that's a good point to encourage people. And I've been thinking about this in my own life in the wake of just kind of our cultural moment, and the gospel's very clearly gone out into culture recently, and a lot of conversations around it. And I don't have to defend Jesus. I just have to introduce people to him.
Yeah.
And have discussion, because he claims to be the savior of the world, and he claims to take your sin away and give you his righteousness and make you in right relationship with God, so that then you speak naturally with the language of heaven.
Right.
You want to glorify the Lord through YouTube content creation.
Right.
Like that takes a supernatural work in somebody's heart.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to shrink back in cowardice because I don't have the right answer, or What if they do come at me antagonistically or think oddly of me? But all I have to do is just present the gospel, and that's the power of God unto salvation. That's what Romans 1 says.
For sure.
I see that in your content, so I encourage you just keep rolling. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'll mention this too. I wasn't super familiar with your videos before
That's
tonight.
perfectly fine. I'm really hurt.
Brock was a loser
I'll get
until-
past
I
it.
would I enjoy golf. I just never watched your videos.
That's
We're
fine.
assisting with your humility.
Hey, well, that's what I'm trying to reach people like you.
Well,
But
that's
he's
my
still
goal.
touching 2/3 of the population, though, just in
That's
case you
right.
don't do
That's
the math.
right.
I talked to one of my friends that does watch you,
Okay.
and the first thing he mentioned was that there's no cussing on your videos. So to hear you say that, to hear him say that,
That's cool.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and
I
it's
just-
funny, even from like an analytics standpoint, the number one watched what's the word, system or whatever is the television. It used to be like an iPhone, or it used to be
in
like
terms of where they're streaming.
So yeah, so where people are watching from is an analytic on the YouTube studio, and so I can see if people are watching from their TV, from an iPhone, or from a tablet, and there's like other whatever. So, and TV has completely overtaken the tablet section in iPhone. It used to be that those were higher, so now we're noticing that YouTube is becoming more of like that's TV for a lot of people.
Mhm.
And
It's in the den. It's in the living room.
right.
Yep.
And so I think when I noticed that, I was also, that's another point where I was like, wow, like, because you also don't know who's watching, because the parents could have it on or whatever, and then their kids are running around in the background, and they hear things and they absorb. Kids just are, they're absorbing everything. They're like sponges. And so it's another time where I was like, wow, we just really, really have to be careful with what we're saying. I just value that a lot.
This is kind of a hard pivot, but not really. Why do you think people are so interested in what you're putting out there? Why is, because I'm attracted to it as a high level competitive golfer. It's fun. It's different. I like the shot tracers. The speed's great. Like why is it more appealing for my 8-year-old to want to watch a Grant Horvat video than sit down and watch PGA Tour golf for 4 hours?
So no, I mean, that's a great question. Yeah, I don't personally know, because I'm not the viewer, but I would like to believe that it's because we are the same people we are on the camera as we are off. And I'm not trying to be anything I'm not. And
It's authentic.
yeah, I think but also the biggest thing, the difference between YouTube and the PGA Tour is we're talking. Like I'm having a conversation and I'm talking to everybody watching the video. I'm having a conversation with them. And on the PGA Tour, it's great. And I love watching the PGA Tour. I love watching Live. I love watching all the tours. And I think that the reason there's always going to be a desire for competitive high golf.
Yeah.
But those guys are always going to be in their bubbles.
Yeah.
And they're going to be quiet and focused.
Mm-hmm.
And so YouTube golf, the beauty and why I love it so much is because, we're getting to talk to the camera. But also what brings me so much excitement and just joy in the content is getting these guys like John Rahm, getting Phil, getting Justin Thomas, Sergio, all these people, I can keep going, that we've been able to film with, to see a whole different side of them is the beauty. Because you just don't see that.
Yeah.
You never will.
People want to see real people be
You,
themselves.
you might see it a little bit at the Ryder Cup. They'll get fiery. But like if JT goes back now to another tour event, it's quiet.
Yeah.
He's not talking to anybody. He's in his bubble. It's serious until the final putt. He celebrates. That's it. That's just PG. And that's beautiful. And I love competitive golf. And there always will be competitive golf. I just think YouTube golf is like, it brings these guys into a new light. And like a lot of people that used to maybe dislike, let's say Sergio or John Rahm or Phil, they get to see these guys, like the media paints them in one way, and then they get to see them on YouTube in a whole nother way, just hanging out. And that's my biggest thing is like, when they come on a video too, I just want them to be hanging.
Yeah.
And I think being authentic, it would be the number one thing, and just being, and I know it sounds cliche, but just being yourself.
You want a clip quote right here? In our rookie orientation and in player meetings every year, I always felt like the tour was trying to turn us into neutered robots. There was always this way that they were trying to get us to speak or to say things to protect the image of the tour or to protect the image of professional golf.
The tour was the product.
the tour was the product and there was not much authenticity. Now you have guys who would just be themselves, but I think it does provide a place for you to just be yourself. And these guys, that's actually who they are. But then after they miss a putt on the 18th hole and they got 5 journalists standing around them after scoring, and they're like, I don't know what these guys are going to write.
Yeah.
And you just kind of turn into this. It's almost like, I mean, I was never at the level where anybody cared what I was going to say, but it's almost like you're viewing yourself as a caricature of yourself. And you're like trying to say what you think you should say if you were like listening to the interview.
Yeah.
Instead of just talking.
Yeah. And you're right. And that's the beauty of like what we do with these 5 under challenges. Like JT he didn't get to be seen much on YouTube. And like, we got to Panther and we got a camera just in our cart cam or in our golf cart. And like, he knows obviously that camera's there, but it's not a forced interview. We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
And I just want that to come across.
Just like anybody else on the golf course.
Yeah. I just want it to be a chill round of golf. But if you were looking at it from just me and why people would want to watch the videos, I would hope it would be just because it's authentic and I'm just able to hang and just talk to the camera and talk about what's going through my mind. And I feel like I've been blessed with a lot of golf knowledge through my dad, who's been a pro, and then also being around really, really great minds in this game. And so I feel like I have a lot to share throughout the rounds as well.
Well, that's a great answer. I mean, I feel that when I'm watching, that makes sense. That gives language to kind of what I'm sensing as a viewer, but yeah. Entrusted is brought to you in part by Primo Golf Apparel. Based out of Utah and built on a simple belief: golfers are athletes. When I first partnered with Primo, I was proud to be their first ever professional ambassador because what they were doing wasn't just about fashion, it was about function. They were among the first to introduce golf joggers to the game, and they changed how golfers thought about performance wear. Today, Primo's lineup goes way beyond joggers, from polos to outerwear to shorts to leisure wear that actually moves with you. Every piece is designed for golfers who train, grind, and compete, whether that's in the gym, on the range, or in life. So, if you want to look sharp, move freely, and represent what it really means to be an athlete on and off the course, check out Primo Golf Apparel. You can visit primogolfapparel.com and use code Entrusted for 15% off your next order. Primo Golf Apparel. Golfers are athletes.
Yeah, so this is something I think that listeners will find interesting, but also helpful. So I think about my own Instagram platform, even my own just group text. I send something out. I start seeing some likes come in. I get a couple laughs on my text. My dopamine, my excitement is just through the roof. I send something out. It doesn't hit. I'm kind of down, and I'm finding a lot of identity in that at times. And so I can only imagine that that is on steroids when you have the numbers that Blaine read off earlier today. So just want to hear the highs of that, the lows of that, and then ultimately how the Lord is the grounding between both sides of that for you.
Yeah, so that's such a great question because I live and die, and I live and die by the videos. And I think I take it almost too far, and that's what I need to work on for sure. Because like every video we post, I want it to be the greatest video we could possibly post, or with an amazing guest. And so I'm still working on how to figure that one out. I think, if we post a video and it doesn't perform how we wanted, I think for me, it's like, all right, how could we have done better? And what do we need to change? Like, what do we need to do? Because like, I'm just constantly like, if it's not, the analytics are not where we want them, or we didn't think it should be better or something, I'm right to title, thumbnail. How can we change it? Can we pick it up? If it was an actual good video, how can we make people watch it? And so, I do. That is something I feel like, if anything, I do really I wear it on my sleeve, and I really put a lot of heart into it, which is just like the analytics of a video and really trying hard to make the best possible content. So it is. It's definitely a thing that it's like, it's your livelihood. But luck, I would say, I think the Lord has done things in my life, whether it was after I left Good, that was a very wild time. It was a rock bottom from just like, it was just a lot of stress and like the messages I was receiving. So that was a time where I was like, ooh, And I felt like, when I was a part of Go Good, it was only up, 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 up. Because we were growing so fast and the group was awesome.
Real quick, can you tell everybody just what Good was real quick?
Yeah, so it was just it's a group of us. There were 6 of us, and it's a very big YouTube golf channel. And yeah, it's kind of where I started a lot of my journey in this space. And yeah, I think there's multiple things that have happened along the way that have I know what it's like to be in the lows. It's not all just been butterflies. There has been for sure some struggles, and there's been some really tough times, but those are the ones you remember the most. And so when I am in the downfall, or I'm in where videos aren't going necessarily how we planned, I always think back to that. I like to think back to the lower times and be like, you know what? That's when I look back at my story. I think about the lows. I don't necessarily think about the highs. I don't want to just talk about all the wins. I want to talk about where it was like, dang, I got to sit here and watch a bad video and just tanks. And now I'm out on my own. Like,
do you get the feedback from just the success in views and how it gets pushed out into what people are seeing? Or are you reading comments? Are you looking at the amount of likes and how are you a person who posts and ghosts? Or are you
no
looking and reading and analyzing? You're reading the negativity.
Answer that quick.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
we're locked in.
Okay.
24/7
Got
after
it.
we post.
All right.
Now I don't read every comment. I do not do that, because that's just, there's truly too many to get
But
through.
you're not afraid to look at them, and then you might see one that's
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's comments. I'm not big into that. However, I love analytics. So I love numbers, and I love why does a video get more views than another one?
Yep.
What was the reason for the hotter start? Why did it slow down? Why did it long-term grow more than another one? Why did this one hit a wall? So I love that. And so, when I get excited, I truly get really excited to post good videos. I think when I'm a little bit on edge is when we have a video that we're questionable on. And so that's when I'm like, ooh, so this could be a slow grower. And that's what I always want to believe with a video that I know is not going to come off to a hot start. There are some videos that we've posted where they get off to a terrible start, and you check back, 6 months, a year later, and it's gone on the graph. It's gone crazy, and it's slowly kept getting views. And then there's some videos that get off to this crazy start and hit a wall, and they're dead. And you're like, wow, this is so. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people. It comes down to the person too. I think some people probably post and ghost, and never heard of that like that. But then for myself,
it's a Joe Roganism. I think that's where I've heard it from first.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that. I sit there and I love looking at the analytics and what we could do better. And it's just studying 24/7 and learning from every single video, learning what we could have done better, why it did this.
Do you think it'd be a similar experience for you if you had to go to let's just go small. Let's go 5-day no tech retreat. Is that like a heroin addict, detoxing off of heroin?
It would almost be so funny story. I went on a spearfishing trip to the Bahamas.
Okay.
And I did this was 2 months ago. And I love going to the Bahamas and diving and fishing. And this is actually a great story. I forgot about this. I go to the Bahamas for 4 days. And when you're in the Bahamas, you don't have service. And you do when you get back to the island, you have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But if you're out on the boat, you got nothing. I mean, the Bahamas is where we go it's rough. It's a rough area where we go in the Bahamas. This one little island that we go to. And so, I'm there for 4 days, and I'm not kidding you. I don't think I looked at my phone maybe I would just call my wife in the evening, and that's it.
Good for you.
And I am not joking. When I got done with 4 days of no phone and just talking to my wife in the evenings, I actually something felt different in my brain. I felt I just reconfigured my brain. I was telling my wife, I'm I feel different. Something's different. I wasn't on my phone for 4 days. And
And then you came back and you didn't get off of it for 4 days.
Oh, yeah, we were right back to the normal. It's something, it's definitely, because it is your job. It's right here on your phone.
Absolutely.
That is my job. It's right here.
Yeah.
And it's going to film. But most of it, the thing that people don't know about YouTube is it's not a normal job. It's not like a 9 to 5 where you clock out and you're done for the day. I work and I don't stop for it's like it's a 24-hour thing. Like I can be thinking about it all night. It's how hard do you want to, like, what do you want to make happen? How hard do you want to keep pushing? And like, what's the next video you want to pull off? Like, cause I also have ideas that, are just like, they're ideas that require so much thinking, and like, how are we going to pull all this off? And some of them don't even involve guests. Like some of them we want to do on our own that are just these big ideas.
Yeah.
And so, it's a lot of thinking. And so even with my wife, she's like, I can't believe you went 4 days like without your phone. But funny story of what I was going to say is when I was in the Bahamas during those 4 days, first time ever, we had to upload a video and I have no service. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm putting full trust into Sky. Skylar is back home and I'm like, dude, you're going to have to upload this thing. I got no service. And so when I'm out in the water and I'm diving, like it is my happy place. Like it is truly where I want to be any second I'm not there. Like I'm just figuring out like in my life right now, how can I get back to the Bahamas? How can I spearfish? How can I free dive? How can I just dive and shoot fish and be there 24/7? That is more my mind is 24/7. Like I just want to be in the Bahamas.
Is this a teaser for that channel one day?
Well, we got a boat.
Okay.
We're on the boat process right now. That's coming together, which is going to be really exciting to announce one day. But so it's like day 3 of the spearfishing trip, and we got to upload a video. And so Sky's like, I tell Sky in the morning, I'm like, dude, you got it. Like you're gonna have to send it live. We usually upload at 12. And I am always like, when we're uploading a video, I'm there. Like I'm locked in, and we're like, all right, I want to make sure everything's good to go. You also like, if the video goes live and say something was like went wrong or something like glitched, you never know. You want to be like there.
You're in the details.
You're in the details. I'm not necessarily sitting there like, but like, I also love to watch the videos when they go live because a lot of people don't know this. I don't really watch the videos. I don't watch. I let Sky edit them and I trust him. And I don't really watch them because I lived it, but I'll watch it when it goes live. So that's when I have fun. Like I'll sit there and watch it for the first time when it goes live. But yeah, Sky, it was 12 o'clock and I remember I was just diving that day. And like, that's the one place where I can put my phone away and kind of just like, I never think about it because I'm like focused on shooting a fish. And like, there's a lot of breathing techniques that go into like, if I want to dive 40, 50 feet, I got to sit there and like, I spend like 3 minutes on the surface breathing up. And so I'm just at ease and I'm looking down, looking at fish. My mind is locked. I'm not thinking about anything. But I'll tell you, that day, 12 o'clock came and I knew subconsciously, I'm like, oh shoot, this video's going live right now. It's in the back of my head. And it was a video that, it wasn't like, hey, I just played Scotty Scheffler, I played John Rahm in a 1v1, like where you just know, you're like, this video's going to bang. Like you kind of just know. It was a video that was a little more like a shot in the dark, kind of a little more aggressive thumbnail, like very different. Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's more of like a testing video. And I'm like, oh my gosh, to not sit there and stalk these analytics is like terrible. And so, yeah, I remember it was 12 and I knew that video went live. I'm like, oh my gosh. So now like these thoughts are going through my head. Like I'm in the water. I'm like, oh
you can't breathe right.
Well, no, I'm thinking to myself, this video is doing terrible. Like it's gotta be doing so bad. Like, oh no. Like, and I'm just every worst case scenario. But then eventually I got to the point where like, all right, I forgot about it. And so like, I'm back to spearfishing, but like, it was like a 20-minute little period there of just like freaking myself out. Like everything's going wrong, but I know that video's live. I have no service. I got nothing. So
nothing you can do about it.
Nothing I can do. We are out in the middle of the ocean, so far away from land. I will never get service until this evening. And so we don't go in, like we're out there from like, 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. And so that video went live like 4 hours ago. And so when we get back to the island where I start getting service, it's like 4:30. That video's been up for like 4 hours. And I just remember like looking at my phone, I like pull up my phone. I'm like, here we go. This could be like, I know, because it ranks your videos on the last 10. So you know exactly how it's performing in comparison to the last 10. And I just remember being like, oh my gosh, this could be so bad. And it surprisingly came back. It was high on the rank. It was like a 4 out of 10.
Nice.
And I'm like, there is no way. Because I was highly doubting it. And so sometimes, a lot of times we're wrong. And that's how you learn a lot when you are wrong. You don't learn when you're right. You never learn anything. You only learn when you're failing and things aren't going as planned. And so, that was a cool moment. But I'll tell you what, I was like, it's the first time ever I like post and ghost. I was never even there. I was never even there to post. I was just ghosting the whole time.
Just full ghost mode.
So yeah, that was one time where I put a lot of I have a lot of faith in Sky. He's done an amazing job from day one, and I let him take over and handle that. But eventually I want to get to the point where I don't live and die by the videos. I think life will, it's already getting that way where things I have focuses a lot outside of YouTube, things we're building.
Yeah.
And so I'm not necessarily going to live and die by every video.
Two ways we can go there, just as conversation for the listeners and for us. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a YouTube content creator or a business guy or a teacher. When I played professional golf, it's really hard to compartmentalize and shut off between work mode, cultivation mode, trying to achieve excellence, trying to accomplish a task, and then having to go back to your wife or to your kids or to sit in church on Sunday and be engaged and pay attention when my mind's a million other places.
Right.
And so that's a struggle for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's important sometimes to just take, for me, like I'm fully addicted to my phone. And so I just plug my phone in my office and I leave it there for like 12 hours between after dinner and when I wake up.
Yeah.
Or when I used to leave the golf course, I would always you want to finish on a few good shots as you're finishing your practice session.
Yeah.
And there were times when I would tell Morgan, I'm going to be home at 5 and it's 4:47 and I double cross hook one on the range. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I can trust the Lord that I put work in today and it didn't go the way I wanted it to, but I'm just leaving. That's the last shot. I told her I was going to be home. And so that's just an encouragement to everyone that that's a wrestle no matter what your career is.
Yeah.
And that you just we all have to fight against that somehow. And sometimes life takes care of that for us. Sometimes it's just putting practical parameters in place, but that's just a wrestle. That's just a tension of life.
I think it comes down to the individual too, how much passion and how much they care about what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Because this, YouTube's my work. That's that's my job. Now, if somebody's starting a business and it's their launch of their sales, they're stocking the analytics too on the sales on Shopify.
Right.
It crosses over. It's the same for every job. How much do you care about what you do? We're just extremely passionate about what we do. I think it's what's made us, successful these last couple of years. And I think it's our edge. Yeah. And I think that's what, having Sky also as somebody who is so passionate and finding somebody that that's a whole nother thing that we haven't even got into is Sky and how much he cares, because finding somebody in your business and that works for you that cares as much as Sky is rare. If I live and die by, he lives and dies by the videos way more.
Yeah.
He's even more psycho than I am. So it's you got two guys that are nobody's going to, we are going to at the end of the day, we are going to work our hardest. We're not going to have anybody outwork us. And we're both as locked in as we could possibly be. This is our time to lock in and do this.
Something I want to hit on about Sky too that was just super encouraging that happened tonight, and I think is a testament to him and to y'all's relationship, is the accountability too, from a Christian perspective, and the brotherhood that y'all have in that. I mean, just earlier there was a video y'all were talking about, and he was like, I don't know if that fits with our values, and having that together, that is awesome too.
For sure.
Talk about that and that relationship, that bond.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's definitely, you have to say no to a good bit of things. And I think that's hard. If it doesn't align with what you believe in or what you're trying to promote. And so, we always have to, we're always on the edge of that. And I think being a Christian, you wrestle with two things. You wrestle with, you want to be the light to people that don't necessarily have the Lord. So you want to also be able to go out and hang out with people that don't necessarily believe. That is a huge part of being a follower of Jesus. You don't want to just hang out with just believers. You're never going to be able to impact anybody.
Yeah.
Jesus dined with the tax collectors.
Right. Exactly. It's I don't want to just only film with people that are, but I'm also not going to go and film with things that are posted that are so against everything that we believe and want to be a part of. So there's the decisions we have to make also with content, the people we're having on the channel. And yeah, we always have to figure that out.
I didn't realize till recently that, I mean, the videos are so high quality and they're so well done, and it's you and Sky. And I mean, you bring in great people to help when it's necessary, and you have a business team, and you have your wives that are supporting you. So I mean, it's a big group of a awesome support system. But I mean, in terms of the just getting it done, I mean, it's Grant and Sky out there doing their thing.
And my managers, Joe and Josh.
That's what I mean from the support system for sure.
And so they're also like
Josh is great.
Such a huge part of everything as well. It's like we've kept a small team.
Yeah.
And it's kept us very grounded, and we have this good relationship where we're all very open about, what we want to do, and we're able to accomplish a lot because it's such a small team. We don't have too many mouths to feed, too many opinions. We keep it very small, and that's intentional. I think a lot of people that are our size have, expanded to huge teams, have 6, 10, 15 people, whatever, working for them. And I think we love where we're at on that. And we've been so blessed with the people that are in our corner. I'm so grateful for Joe and Josh and for Sky, and it's just like, it would never be possible.
Great group of guys. Yeah. Absolutely. Just we can kind of close out the YouTube business chapter with this question, but just speak to a little bit of the opportunities that YouTube content creation, putting great stuff out into the world, has led to opportunities outside of YouTube, and like some of the other partnerships you're involved in.
Yeah.
And the just diversification it's allowed of you. Like, you're going to be able to take this into any number of paths throughout the rest of your business career.
Yeah. I would start out with the companies that I now own. I think those are the biggest ones.
That's what I'm speaking to.
I want to first,
cool.
I would love to first talk about those, because I think, over the last couple years, as things have progressed, I've really thought about, what if YouTube went away tomorrow? Like, just what if this crazy thing happened where YouTube was banned and it got shut down?
Yeah.
Or what are we going to do? Like, what do we have outside of that?
So smart.
And so building and owning companies has been one of my biggest passions. And so, Primo was the first one I took ownership in. Primo's been amazing. The team there, the greatest guys to ever work with. What's funny is Blaine's wearing one of the original collections with the Jesus fish on it from Primo.
The Grant Horvat logo down here.
Still use that logo. Paige made that. What's funny is you were with Primo as well.
Yeah.
You used to rock the joggers.
Love those guys. Yeah.
And that's so cool, because I remember seeing them posting your swing and stuff. I was like, there's no way. This is so cool. Because I followed you at the Honda Classic one year when I was really young. I remember you teeing off at PGA National.
Hopefully I had a good one.
I think you snap hooked it. It was like a hole 9 or something. But yeah, so that was really cool. Primo has been amazing, and being just hands-on and designing this. We have so many great ideas where we want to take Primo. So it's fun to be a part of something and own it and see hopefully there's that long-term play.
For sure.
And then you go to Tacoma, which has just been so cool. Being a part and an owner in Tacoma and watching this company just absolutely take off and just grow like crazy. Tacoma is a golf club company, for those of you people who are watching that have no idea. It is a golf club company. They're from Finland, and they have been basically making golf clubs that are half the price of a normal set. So if Titleist is,
honestly,
$1,300.
It's almost like a third.
Yes, it's almost a third. And I know you got a set. So if a normal club, let's not even bring up names. If a normal club manufacturer charges, $1,200-$1,300 at Tacoma set, it's going to be just about half the price, $600. So what's been really cool there is there's no competition. And I think that they have paved their own way. And it's been so cool to be a part of that, watching the sales, and they can't even keep up with demand. Yeah, and so that's just it's the most rewarding thing to also just see, be a part of that. And people are, I can't wait to get my irons, and everyone needs irons when they're getting into golf. And these are affordable, great irons that we all love. We got nothing. It's not like we're sitting here and we don't believe it. I feel like me, George, and Wes, we could sit here. I sat on a lie detector and got hooked up to it. And they're like, do you do you truly love Tacoma? Or do you truly believe it's the most affordable iron? Yeah. And like, I'm hooked up and this guy's reading off my, like, he can see if I'm lying or whatever. And so, yeah, I just wholeheartedly believe that they're the greatest, most affordable irons you can possibly find. And so I think everyone that has bought them has felt that. And that's been
I
really
agree.
cool. And then the final one is For Wellness, which has been awesome because Phil gave me ownership. And that was just the coolest thing for Phil Mickelson to give you ownership in his company. It still doesn't even feel real that that's a thing. But For Wellness has just the numbers and looking at the sales and everyone tagging me in photos of them buying the gummies or buying the coffee booster or the good stuff or the espresso brownies, any of the stuff that For Wellness sells, they'll like tag me. And it's just so cool to see that and, hear the CEO saying, you guys are crushing it. Like this, people are loving For Wellness. So that's one of the most, I'll tell you, those are some of the most rewarding things, and seeing people wear Primo in public. Like that's as rewarding as it gets. But so that's, I will say,
the nice Ryder Cup drop.
Yeah, this has been the Ryder Cup drop. I love it. But I think growing things outside of YouTube is my number one passion. I think YouTube it fuels everything. It fuels all the other avenues you want to take.
Yeah, it's great.
We've talked about a lot of different things. We've hit a lot of different topics, but just kind of bringing it back to our main message here. If you were to put it in your own words, what do you feel like the Lord has entrusted you with? We've talked about the past, but more going forward, really to the businesses and everything. How do you view what He's entrusted you with, and how you're stewarded that well?
Yeah, I just think, I mean, you look at it from every avenue. I think the fact that we have grown to the size that we've grown, and I think when you trust the Lord with a little, and you're faithful with that, starts to bless you. And I think that we've all been on the same page, and I think having a team that is all like-minded and we're all have the same goals in mind is so important. And I think the Lord has just, He's opened up things and done things, and He's made things happen that I don't even, I never thought were possible. And the collabs and the timing of everything and how things have worked, and like even like meeting Phil and how that went, the first video, and like the moments that Phil and I had, and like you can't script it. Like it's out. Like at the end of the day, when things aren't going, you're not able to pull off the next big video, or things feel like they're not necessarily going the way you want. It's easy to just get kind of down on yourself. And I think right now I like to look back at all that the Lord has done and the doors He's opened. And I just, I'm speechless over this last couple years. I didn't even think this was possible.
That's a great.
I did believe it. I had that belief, but I still, you have that, you're like, everybody wants to doubt a little bit. And I think that, I never thought
that's a great line for people just to, if you're doubtful of God's future faithfulness to you, just look backwards to His past faithfulness.
Right.
Because there's no lack of it.
And I never want to also preach the message that, if you, do this, the Lord's going to automatically bless you. Or if you give this amount of money, He's going to for sure bless you. There is the faith aspect where
that's right.
It's not just, hey, if I do this, the Lord will bless me. It's just obedience and being faithful, and got to pray that the Lord sees that. And it's been I feel also that responsibility for having a platform and what the Lord's given us to steward it and to make sure that we use it wisely. And it's not we don't take it lightly. It's not just like, we see the numbers, we see the people. And it is interesting because I even talk to my wife about it. Like I want people to know that I believe in Jesus, and I want people to see that. And I know that, I just want people when they click on a video, they know what they're going to get every single time. And that's so big for us and our mission. And we're just we're so grateful for everything.
You're stewarding it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One last question.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the was it the Barracuda Invitational
Yeah.
and what happened there, and then kind of maybe the Live to follow? Didn't you play in the Live? Did you play with Live or no?
I did. I've done some stuff with Liv.
Okay.
The Live duels is probably what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah. So yeah, I actually haven't even spoke about it.
And if you can't,
since-
that's fine.
No,
I just
it's fine.
think it points to a good picture.
Yeah,
of
no, it's
what I
good.
think.
So yeah, I that was yeah, it's my first time actually revisiting because the last time I talked about it, I didn't know if I was gonna do it. I was with Smiley on a podcast.
Mhm.
I wasn't sure if I was gonna accept it. And yeah, since then we went the route of declining it. And I mean, there's a lot of factors that went into that.
Mhm.
Obviously not being able to film was our
Yeah.
main reasoning. We're not going to go, I don't want to go into the weeds on it,
No,
but I think that I saw a lot of conclusions. There's 24 hours on Twitter that were the
Mhm.
craziest 24 hours of my life. I saw every take under the sun, and what I learned more than anything, I'll leave it at this.
Mhm.
What I learned more than anything is you cannot believe everything you read
Yeah.
on the internet,
No,
and
for
people
sure.
are going to take a storyline and they are going to run with it,
Yeah.
and they're going to say and spew the most amount of stuff that they
Mhm.
think happened. And it
Yeah.
was, I will say, it's a very, very simple interaction that happened with the PGA Tour saying filming is not going to be allowed, the Barracuda inviting me. The Barracuda is their own entity. The PGA Tour is their own entity.
Mhm.
And yeah, essentially was not allowed to film, wasn't going to work for us. And it's funny because if I did play, I would have had there's been a lot of people that were mad at me for taking
Mhm.
someone's spot.
Mm.
So I still would have got a lot of hate. as
Lose,
well.
lose.
Well,
It was, yeah.
And like I said, I just from a Reddit yesterday, it just was clear that
Reddit
you-
or I read it.
no, not Reddit. I'm sorry,
Because
I
that's a
re- I-
dangerous place.
I read about it.
Okay.
But my take was that you are so focused on the content that it was not worth whatever
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
had to bring. Which I mean, a lot of people would probably love to play in an invitational on the PGA, but you're so dedicated to
I
what
think-
you've been entrusted
so,
with. So
yeah, there's a couple things. So, like I said, I don't want to go too far into the
Yeah, no,
weeds
we
into
don't
it,
have
but
to.
I will say that there's two main things that I saw that were kind of misconceptions during the whole 24 hours of just Twitter madness. First off, that it was my passion to be a PGA Tour player,
Mhm.
and that it's been this goal of mine to play in a PGA Tour event.
Yeah.
We dispelled that earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
already-
I hope that was
That's
very
covered.
clear.
Check
So
back to the early part of
that
this
was,
podcast.
There's a
that
chapter
was-
we'll have of that.
Yeah, that was never the case.
Yeah.
I did not grow up and like it wasn't this lifelong goal to play in the PGA
Mhm.
Tour, and I'm just turning it down because I can't film.
Yeah.
That is not the case. Also, saw another one. Yeah, I actually replied to this guy on Twitter.
Nice.
I won't name his name, but he said, "I can't believe that you would to think that this kid thinks that he can bring out an entire camera crew is unbelievable." Something along the lines of that,
Mhm.
and to think that like he'd be distracting the players and whatever. So, what I will say to that, and I think I saw a lot of people's takes on that, to think that I would have a whole camera crew out there distracting everybody. I would just have Sky.
Yeah.
We've already done this multiple
This guy's
times.
a
So if
gentle
you guys,
guy. He would be.
yeah, if you
great.
guys want to go check out, we've done multiple minor league tour events. We did a Corn Ferry event. So if you guys go check those out, you'll see that Sky in the Corn Ferry event, he stands outside the ropes with a little camera and goes like this. That's
We're-
it.
You know,
So we're not
subtle flex.
distracting anybody. We're
Grand
not,
shot,
yeah.
grand shot 30
Yeah.
in the front. You know.
yeah, that was a really cool video. But yeah, that was a Corn Ferry event, and Sky sat over outside the ropes and literally went like this.
Yeah.
And just zoomed in from the side, and there was one camera. And I think also my biggest thing is I would never want to distract any of the players.
No,
I
for
know
sure.
that these guys are out there grinding for their livelihood, and the last thing I want to do is be an inconvenience to them.
Yeah.
So
Well, like I said, just to reiterate, the only reason I brought it up is because somebody that has no idea about anything.
Yeah.
I could only pull from the messages that you care deeply about what you do.
Yeah.
And so not being able to do that, you know.
yeah,
Doesn't make
and yeah,
sense.
for
So-
us, it's like the only reason we're getting that invite in the first place is because of the content. It's not
Exactly.
because I'm a good golfer.
That's good.
You are a good golfer.
Yes, but it's because of the content. The content
As
was
a
the reason.
fan, I want to see how you would perform.
Yeah.
I think you could
Well, you
get
never
it.
know. You never know. Never know. Maybe one day. But I'll tell you what, it was a wild 24 hours. I never thought that something like that could, it was more, and it's funny, that day people were calling me, my friends were like, are you okay? Like I had like 4 or 5 people call me and ask me if I'm okay. And I was like, oh, I'm great. Like I had a grin. I got a big smile that entire day. I was reading everything and I'm just like, this is incredible that people care this deeply. And I was also very grateful in the midst of that. I was like, I'm very thankful for the people that care enough to even want to see me playing it.
Yeah.
But also just like for people that even the negativity, I was like, this is crazy. It's like it was a wild thing to watch. And it was that 24-hour, for maybe 48-hour Twitter, Instagram, everything. It was it was a crazy. I don't know if I'll ever have anything that goes that big. So
that's funny.
yeah, because it was like it's such a broad thing too for people that don't even know what YouTube golf is. It was just YouTuber declines PGA Tour event.
Yeah.
So it was broad enough to get everybody
broad,
intrigued.
Yeah.
I got 2 questions to wrap us up.
Yep.
First thing would just be if there's something, whether it's a spiritual discipline or just a word that you've read recently or even a song, just something that our listeners can take away to encourage them in their walk with Jesus. And then the last thing would just be, no one knows us, but if there happens to be someone that watches us that knows us that doesn't know you, if you could point them to one video, your favorite video, what video would that be?
Great.
Ooh, those are great. Yeah, those are really good. So the first question, I would say it doesn't even necessarily regard scripture, but I think what I'm focusing on right now is the Sabbath and Sundays and being intentional. And I think for sure going to church every single Sunday, but also putting the phone away for that entire day.
Amen.
I think that is such a powerful thing for an entire 24 hours to be connected and put the phone away and do not work. And also what we've been trying to do, my wife and I, is like no phone policy after 8. So after 8 p.m., no phones, not sitting there before we go to bed, scrolling. And then also in the morning, having quiet time for a while in the morning. So
Great.
I think getting in the word early in the morning and late at night. And I'm preaching to myself because I fall short every single day and I got to retry and I'm addicted to my phone. And I want to immediately when I wake up, I want to go to my phone. And so I got to intentionally try. So I'm preaching to myself. I fall short every single day. So
we all.
The other day I came down with the intention to not do that. And I can't even remember. I got 20 minutes into doom scrolling.
Oh gosh.
With my Bible, my coffee in my lap.
Yeah.
And I just had to start over and repent from the jump.
Oh, it's just
it was
so
awful.
It's so
Turn me
hard.
back to the gospel though. So
and reading the Bible's not easy because you got to intentionally sit there and read and reflect and think about things. And doom scrolling, boy, nothing but a little dopamine.
Yeah.
Just keep going. So, yeah. So
great.
I would say, that's those would be my biggest things right now. I'm also working on it, and I also think it's just a way to connect with God. I think that it's so important for your relationships and just also being a habit every morning is like having that quiet time. And then, so my favorite video, you're saying just like favorite video I've ever done.
Either your favorite video or if there's just one you're like, this is the one you got to watch. I guess maybe the same
somebody
thing.
is on death row. This is Shawshank right now. And they gotta watch one video before they go to the chair.
Yeah.
What are you sending to them?
One video. Boy, gosh, there's so many good
I've created
ones.
so many good
300
videos.
385 videos.
305. I don't even know which video to send.
Oh, man. It has to be on my channel, correct?
As opposed to
Video I've done.
Oh no. I mean,
any video?
Wherever you want to send the listeners.
Clearly you don't have a favorite because you have already said it.
No, I do. I think one of the best ones I've ever filmed was Josh Allen. Can Me and Phil beat Josh Allen and John Rahm?
That was good.
I went into a 2 or 3 hole playoff. And me and
there was
Phil
one
ended
hole
up
at the end
winning.
where the putts were breaking like 8 cups.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
The final hole there. And we were having it. And
Brutal.
John, I just remember Rahm getting so mad.
He was very mad.
He was slamming the pins and like losing his mind. And it was kind of fun to see because he's like one of the best players I've ever watched in my life. And so to see him getting that mad was actually
That's
Me and
good.
Phil were looking at each other with these big smiles, and we won. So it was
Just a little chuckle.
Oh, it was insane. So yeah, they went into a multiple hole playoff. So yeah, there's one more I wanted to say before I completely shut it off. I think I just did a video with Bob, and he started on the green. And it was one of the greatest videos I've ever done in my life. He started at the furthest point of every green, and I played the front tees.
Wow.
And I went out and set the pins with the super. So I set them like behind slopes and stuff. And Bob almost put it off the green one hole. And like we start dying laughing. So yeah, I would say that's another video.
That sounds
Bob
good.
starts on the green.
That's awesome.
That's a good one. But yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I know this is one of your first episodes, one of the first or second that you filmed. So yeah, if you guys are also new here, make sure you guys go subscribe to this channel wherever this is on. If this is on YouTube or on Spotify, make sure you guys go subscribe. And I know you guys are gonna have some great content coming up.
What's the other thing you say? Smash that like button.
I think I've said that before. I think I've said
Not
everything.
you. I just mean like getting that's a thing. Like smash the like button, subscribe.
Yeah, they say if you want to be a YouTuber, all you got to say is like, comment, subscribe, and that's it.
There you go.
So I guess you're a
Good
YouTuber.
word.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Grant.
thank you guys for having
Thank you,
me.
Grant.
Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Blaine, one of the hosts here at Entrusted. We are really grateful you chose to spend some time with us today. We know you have lots of options, and we hope that the thoughts and the messages from this talk we had with our guests really propelled you to explore the design that you were created for. The best ways to support us, check out our socials, like, subscribe, leave a review, tell your friends, family, coworkers, neighbors. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope you'll tune back in next time.